We need to love the processes more than the tools. And if we can replicate those processes with this new tech stack, can get the best result for our clients.
Because I don't want to be that guy who's sitting there trying to build a house with a screwdriver when everyone around me is just making everything with a drill.
The amount of growth that you can have by learning these tools, it's exponential.
Even if we come to a point where the hard skills, the technical knowledge become obsolete, a web professional is still going to be somebody who cares deeply about websites and on providing the best possible website. And those people are going to continue to make money. James, I now know your name is James and not James. How's it going?
Good, man. Good. It's great to be here for sure. It's great to meet you, man. We have never really jumped into a call, so it's definitely awesome to be here, man.
Definitely. And I have been seeing you guys around at, I call it Produlus. I don't know if I'm saying that correct.
That's right. Produlus. Yeah.
Excellent. I've been seeing you guys for quite a while, and I really, really love, because it's a new niche entirely. I mean, you've had traditional dev houses for a long time, and you've had, Webflow agencies for a little while, not too long, but a little while. And you guys are actually one of the first that I can remember seeing, like, we are a basically low code dev house. And that is really cool. But the thing about low code app development that I'm sure you're well aware of is that it came around really quickly, changed the game. And now AI has come around and is also very much changing the game. And so throughout this conversation, I'm really interested to hear, like, what brought you and your team towards low code app development. Now, what is, I guess, how that looks with AI coming around. I know you're using Claude Code. I'm excited to hear all about that. So, like, first things first, tell anyone watching, what is Produlus?
So we build web applications. We build web applications on top of logo tools, visual tools like Webflow, Xano. But in general, we are a team of engineers. The whole team, most of our team didn't really come from low-code tools, or visual tools. They all come from traditional development. So they were already aware of, standards of security, performance, and they got into the niche. We got them into Webflow, into Xano. Obviously, I got started with websites with Webflow. I fell in love with Webflow. I was using before that HTML and CSS. Yeah, man. The reason why we started with this niche is first, we can build really complex things really quick. Webflow allows us to give total control of the front end, and we can achieve better results like tools like WeWeb or even Bubble. We can achieve like pixel perfect designs. And at a certain point, 2 years ago, I think it was one of the quickest or best ways to build scalable software, for companies, and our clients can say that, they are making a lot of money out of the web apps that we have built for them. And now, just as you said, man, I don't know if I have this, in my heart, the belief that, this is the best way to keep building things. Things are changing. Cloud Code has definitely changed the game, man. Like, yeah, it's definitely something that we need to be aware of and something that we need to get started with. I don't think people need to stick with the same tech stack. I think we need to love the processes more than the tools. And if we can replicate those processes and with this new tech stack, I think we can get the best result for our clients, which is the only thing that important, it's important. Yeah.
I agree. I always make this comparison of like screwdrivers and drills. So back once upon a time, everyone was like building houses just using a screwdriver. It's all well and good. Everyone's happy, like us in Webflow. And same thing. I was building web apps with Webflow and using CMS as a backend and using Make to connect everything together. Pretty hacky, but you can actually build some cool stuff with that. Anyways, when Wiz came around, I was like, oh, this is new. I built it was a small SaaS using Wiz in not too much time at all. It took me about 2 weeks. And it absolutely changed the game. So on to my reference about drills and screwdrivers, I was holding my Webflow CMS backend, which is the screwdriver, and then Wiz comes around, and I did not want to stick to my stack. I use my stack constantly. I know it through and through. I built how many things with it, but when something better comes around, I am going to use it because I don't want to be that guy who's sitting there trying to build a house with a screwdriver when everyone around me is just making everything with a drill. And so that was how it felt for me going from my old stack to Wiz. And then not too long after that, Cursor came around and I started using Cursor. And that was the next like shift to me right away, because the thing is what I was doing, and I am not a good, here's the thing. I have an engineering mind. I am a problem solver at heart. That's who I am. My syntax knowledge is garbage. I can write HTML and CSS with my eyes closed. Not that that's too useful anymore, but I can. JavaScript is where the problem comes in. My JavaScript syntax knowledge is terrible. And so when I was building with Wiz, I was basically, I had a ChatGPT window open. I'm like, this is what I'm doing. I need the code for this, test it out, make it work. A whole lot of back and forth. So then when Cursor came around, it just does the changes for me. And so that changed everything very, very quickly. And then Claude Code came around not too long after that. And for anyone watching this who hasn't used Claude Code yet, I say this all the time. Alex Christou, amazing guy. He's going to be linked in the description. He is like Claude Code evangelist. He was telling me for so long, use Claude Code, use Claude Code, use Claude Code. And I'm like, why? Cursor's good. Cursor's good. And then he told me, he's like, Claude Code is like a self-driving car and Cursor is like lane assist. Honestly, that doesn't even mean anything, but he got me interested enough to try Claude Code. And again, that was the next like jump to the point where it's insane. And the stuff I'm building now, I've never been able to build before. Things are changing so quickly. And so I'm so interested to understand from your point of view, like you really went, I mean, if I'm looking right now as well at your website, and it's very much so centered around visual development and Wiz and Xano. So how do you see this switch? So right now you have a lot of people who've built their careers on Webflow development, or in this case on Webflow, Wiz, and Xano. I hate when a company literally pivots their entire direction on a whim because of a trend that's going on. So I think you have a lot of Webflow developers right now who are like wondering kind of how they should navigate this. And I think you would really be able to provide some insights into like, how are you navigating this switch from you guys as a brand? Like, talk a bit about that.
Man, the other day I had a call with Ray Deck, a mentor of mine with Xano. He's the owner of the State of Change.ai. A smart dude, super smart dude. He's really, an engineer with more than, I guess, 35 years of experience. And, wow. he has gone through this before. He has seen some updates through his career, And he explained it in a really cool metaphor. I won't explain it that way, but, at the end of the day, you want to, Webflow developers, they have many projects in Webflow, many clients who will still be building in Webflow because they have such a large projects that right now it doesn't make sense to migrate them. It doesn't make sense to, even though there's a new tech stack, a better tool, why would you do that if your websites are working, you are making money, and it's all good. Things, they are able to make updates. It's all good. Even though there's Cloud Code right now, I wouldn't say that doesn't need to happen for every one of your clients. Things are working for them. Obviously, you want to keep those clients. You want to improve their websites. You want to keep making the best for them under the tech stack. We need to be able to implement, as I said, Cloud Code in this tech stack. We need to be able to somehow be able to implement Cloud Code on Webflow to build quicker. Probably what I'm trying to say here is also, we need to try to use human language in order to start building with Webflow. That's one part of the thing. You want to keep your clients. You want to, keep making money out of that niche because, Webflow is still good. It's not bad. Nothing has changed around that. Obviously, you have some things, whenever you, the updates with the domains now that people was trying to publish to staging and automatic was getting published to production, which was super weird. That just happens a couple of weeks ago to us. So in the future, I guess that will never happen with Cloud Code, but that's one thing. And obviously apart from keeping this, the clients that you already have on Webflow, you need to aim for the start, even though right now starting to learn how to use Cloud Code in your local environment won't make you rich. It's aiming for the start, because the amount of growth that you can have by learning these tools, it's exponential. So you don't need to be migrating your clients to this tech stack. Like life doesn't need to, change from day to night. But what I'm saying is you need to aim for what's going to happen in the future, man. It's we cannot, cover the sun with one's finger. So it's man, we are aware of this already. It's a little concerning. Me especially. We have a team of 15 people. We have plenty of clients we are working on this tech stack. I want to be honest with them. This is something that I'm doing currently in the agency. I'm jumping into personal calls to each one of my clients. This is what you need to be aware of. 2 years ago, I was pretty certain that the tech stack that we were using, it was great, fantastic. Even a year ago. But then now we need to be aware that these tools are allowing us to create software quicker than ever. And the cool thing is we have engineers. We don't have, people which are not technical. That's an advantage on our end, but we need to be able to apply these technologies into their projects. That's what I'm letting them know. We are making the best out of, what we can in order to apply what Claude Code is doing into the tech stack that we have currently. If the time comes, if we have, issues with performance or with the scalability, I think we will be prepared to make this migration. Obviously, it will cost you money, but your project is making money. We don't have any performance issues right now. We are trying to, now that we will be creating new features, we will be trying to implement this technology into your project so we can build quicker, so we can make the most out of your money. And last thing, man, the third phase here, it's development costs will definitely get cheaper. The access for people to build. Now, the amount of projects that we will be able to build will be definitely, larger. But the cost of development will get cheaper for sure, because the accessibility that everyone will have to build code with Claude Code, man. Yeah.
Yeah. That's a lot to unpack. And I want to jump back into the thing that you just said about the development cost dropping, because I think that's another thing a lot of people are kind of worried about who build software websites for a living. But you basically said two things and then combined them. One is the present, what you should be doing right now. One is preparing yourself for the future and learning and not just ignoring all these developments. And then the other one is adding the future into the present. So I want to start with the first one, and that is the present. There are a lot of people, and I am guilty of probably scaring people myself, the way I talk about it sometimes. I want to make this abundantly clear to anyone. Webflow is not going anywhere. Nowhere. Like, there are people still building sites with Drupal. Some people would say Drupal's good. I think Drupal sucks and was obsolete, 12 years ago, 13 years ago. Webflow isn't going anywhere, period. Anyone watching this, you're a Webflow developer, you don't need to be worried that all of your clients are going to just drop off, all of the sudden because now they can build things with AI. It's not going to happen. Anyone who's telling you that's going to happen is probably just trying to sell you something. So straight up, take a deep breath, chill, talking to everyone else, not you. You clearly know this very well. Everything's going to be fine. However, things are definitely changing. And I think people are at risk of trending downwards by ignoring the future. And so it's something that's hard to do for me. I like to always jump to the next thing. But, the best thing to do right now is focus on what's still making you money. If you're making money building Webflow sites, don't just ignore that because the next big thing came out. If you're using Webflow and Xano, same thing. Don't, it's all okay. It's all okay. Try using, and I'm going to say Claude Code, but this applies to whatever tools are, let's say, at the forefront. Use them, learn them. That knowledge is going to help you understand what's going on in the industry. It's going to teach you a lot of things about how to build products. And I know using Claude Code has taught me a ton about development, about security. Unless you're the kind of person who just lets it run and doesn't look at it, you're going to learn so much from watching what Claude Code is doing. So I agree with that heavily. And then on to the last thing, which was the cost of development getting cheaper. So I'm going to share my take, and then I'm interested in getting your take. Here's the thing. People back in the day, when the only way to make a website was like HTML and CSS, hosting it yourself, figuring out all of this stuff, being like a full-on engineer to get a landing page running. There was a time when that was the case, and people made a living from building landing pages with, HTML, CSS, and they made a lot of money doing it. Then things like Squarespace and Wix come out, and we shift into a world where anyone can build a website. But at the end of the day, I'm still making money. You're still making money. Building websites, web apps, we're both web app guys primarily, I think, we're still around. We haven't gone anywhere. Here's the thing. Anyone can make a website right now. My father knows nothing about technical anything. He popped open Wix and made my mother's company a website. That's great. The people who don't really need a website that bad are able to do it themselves. And that's only becoming more and more with AI. But at the end of the day, even though anyone can make a website right now, not everyone is making a website. Even if we live in a time where, okay, everyone's talking about like AGI, we're all going to be replaced, the singularity, I don't know, whatever people want to call it, right? At the end of the day, we as human beings, we can only dedicate our energy to so many things. Not everyone is even able to comprehend what makes a good website, what makes a good web app, to understand the nuance of how all this stuff works. And so my take personally is that even if we come to a point where the hard skills, the technical knowledge become obsolete, a web professional is still going to be somebody who cares deeply about websites and on providing the best possible website. And those people are going to continue to make money.